Good evening, and welcome to Zombification 101. My name is Melissa, and I will be your guide on this arcane journey into the world of zombies. What I'm going to show you tonight is my own personal style of zombie makeup. I use regular dollar store makeup to achieve a zombie look. I prefer to use just regular old makeup as opposed to theatrical makeup or the Halloween type makeup because it's easier on your skin. It's easier to find, and a lot of times it's cheaper. If you buy a zombie kit, the colors may not suit your complexion, but if you buy each little dollar piece individually, you know they will. Now the first thing to think about when you're going to zombify is decay. Because what is a zombie? It's an undead creature who's roaming the earth in a state of decay. So you want to look at your face and say, all right, where is the skin thinnest? Where would the bone poke through first? And that's what we're going to start. So this is a color that's too light for me, even when I don't have a summer tan. And I'm going to put that where the skin is thin. So on my forehead. And it may not look like much at first, but this technique is all about layering. We're going to put layers and layers of color on to achieve what I like to think of as a realistic zombie look. And then the bridge of my nose, my cheekbones, and I'll make a lot of faces while I'm doing that, and that's doing the makeup, and that's to help me visualize my skull and where the skin is thin and what I might look like as a zombie. Plus, I've just always made faces when I do makeup. Get my chin. The other thing you can think of while you're doing your zombie makeup is what killed you. And I imagine that I died from a virus, but if there was a more obvious wound that killed you, this might be the time to kind of incorporate that. There are latex appliances you can buy online all year round, and the Halloween stores have them around Halloween that look like drooping eyes or slit throats or your teeth are poking out. Those are made of latex, and they take a latex adhesive, so you may or may not be allergic to them. They're kind of hard to get them to stick. I had a broken arm for Halloween last year as a zombie, and it took quite a while for me to get it to stick, so that's Zombification 201. We're going to stick with 101, which is just makeup. Alright, phase 1 complete. Now for the rest of this, I'm going to be using these little brushes, and I got these at the dollar store too. They were a little bit more than $1, but they're worth it. I only use them on my zombie makeup. I don't use them to put on my regular makeup. If you were doing this on somebody that you didn't know, just some random person, you would use cotton balls for the big brush, and you would use Q-tips for the littler brushes, and then just dispose of the cotton ball or the Q-tip. You can also buy these little makeup wedges. They work good for the foundation. For the powder, you want the Q-tips. Alright, so too dark for me. So I'm going to start with the darkest brown color. And I'm imagining where I would start to droop. So I'm going to hit the hollows of my cheeks, but below where I would normally put my blush. And then the next spot I'm going to hit is under my chin. And get that nice and dark, and then under my jawline, and then you want to stroke it down a little bit. You can apply these same techniques and colors to your hands, your throat, whatever's exposed. We're just going to do the face for today. And then let's see, a little on my temples, just to emphasize what's coming next. We'll be doing a lot of black around the eye, so don't worry about that. Now I'm going to switch to a smaller brush and add some finer detail. And zombification is all about looking disgusting and terrible, horrible. So you're trying to emphasize kind of what's wrong with your face. So I'm starting to get kind of a line there. I'm going to want to emphasize that to make my face look droopier. And you don't really care about, is it symmetrical? You just care that it's making you look terrible. The worse you look, the better you look. And sometimes you can get a little darker color with the smaller brush. And there we go, that's looking good. See, I got a darker color. All right. Now next is the fun part. Next we're actually going to use color. And I got these cheap little eyeshadows at the dollar store, and they really were $1. And I've been using these to zombify for 3 years now, so lasts. Zombie is obviously my favorite Halloween costume. We're gonna start with the yellow because in my imagination I died of a Ebola/cold virus. So yeah, I had a terrible cold with Ebola-like symptoms added on right before I died. So we're gonna use the yellow for the obvious. And just add it wherever you think it should be. Plus yellow is just fun. It's also good for where you think the bone would be showing through. And the other great thing about eyeshadow for this kind of makeup is that this isn't sparkly, but it has a certain iridescence to it. It's kind of shiny, so it catches the light differently as you move, which really adds to the disgusting factor. So, you know, wherever you're feeling it, there's no rules. It's zombie makeup. And then use your finger to blend it. The added bonus of using your fingers is you wind up a zombie finger at the end. Your fingers get just as disgusting as your face. And my favorite is the green. For mold. So you want to give yourself some mold wherever you're feeling it again. There's no rules, it's just you're zombifying. See, I'm not really following any rules, but it's starting to look really disgusting. I have a tendency to keep the green kind of where I want dark anyway. I don't know why, I just do that. Works. Okay, so that's green. Now the other fun thing you can do to yourself with eyeshadow is give yourself a really great bruise that doesn't hurt. And for that you need slightly different colors. This has some darker reds than the other set had. Still, this was $1 so can't go wrong. I start with the lightest pink, pinkish red, and then decide where I want the bruise. So somebody kind of hauled off and cold cocked me. Right here on my... And remember, any bruising you have happened before you died. So I must have been trying to escape the contagion and a soldier hit me. Something, I don't know. Another panicked citizen who trampled me in the stampede. And then I go with the, when I've got it kind of where I want it, go with the darker. And don't worry if it's not looking uniform. You don't want it to be uniform. If you remember the last bruise you had, the coloring was not uniform. It was all over the place. Now we're going to go with the blue to add the final touch to the bruise. And now this is one where you really want to blend it with your fingers. Voila! A bruise.